And the tragic news is former NFL player Vontae Davis apparently was found dead, or that he lost his life, and is still an investigation. So this is really just hot off the press, ladies and gentlemen. Former NFL player Vontae Davis is pronounced dead at 35 years old, apparently at his home. Check it out.
Turning now to a developing story in Southwest Ranches, where police are investigating the death of former Dolphin star Vontae Davis. He was found dead inside of a home this morning.
CBS News Miami's Anna McAllister has been at the scene all afternoon. She joins us live from outside the home with what we are learning at this hour. Anna.
Well, Naja, Elliott, police confirming that 35-year-old Vontae Davis was found deceased in the Southwest Ranches home behind me. I'm going to take a step off camera. All afternoon, we have watched as several cars have gone through this gate. Many friends standing outside of the home earlier today, but the last few hours have been very quiet. And according to Davie police, they responded to a call about a medical emergency at this house after a house assistant found Davis unresponsive. And this is all happening on Southwest 178th Avenue. Police confirming that he was dead on the scene. And when we arrived earlier, as I mentioned, we watched several cars pull up into the home. We also watched police as they arrived as well. And we spoke to a friend of Davis's who was sitting outside of the home and confirmed his death.
He was a good friend of mine. He was a real good friend of mine. He was a client first and a friend. Okay.
Police say no foul play is suspected and the investigation is ongoing. For now,
what could possibly? Police said no foul play is suspected. Yeah, I remember he retired during the NFL game. He played for the Miami Dolphins. He was a star with the Miami Dolphins. What could possibly, at 35 years old, and I guess, we can all play the guessing game, and the results is going to come out hopefully, probably over a period of time, probably sometime soon. What could possibly cause for you to pass away at 35 years old?
A former Dolphins player, Vontae Davis, was found in the Southwest Ranches home of his grandmother yesterday. Police still investigating the cause of death. Local 10's Andrew Perez is joining us live from Southwest Ranches with the latest on this. Andrew.
One crew leaves, another crew comes into this home here in Southwest Ranches. The crew that just came in, it was a biomedical hazard cleanup crew out here. All of this as we're learning more from the 911 calls just released. Davis found yesterday in the gym area of his home. Cleanup and restoration crews returned to the home in Southwest Ranches where former Miami Dolphins cornerback Vontae Davis was found dead. Just within the last 24 hours, we've seen detectives, cars, and security crews. His sudden death at 35 sending shockwaves across the NFL. His personal assistant first calling 911 to report that a woman in the home found Davis unresponsive in the gym area early Monday morning.
She arrived and he's on the ground of the residence. She froze. She called me and she couldn't even speak. That's why I called.
In a series of 911 calls released, the assistant who's driving to the Southwest Ranches home describes a grisly scene on FaceTime. And when she last saw Davis,
when I answered, she faced at me and she showed me laying on the ground.
When's the last time that you spoke with him?
Last time I saw him was Friday. Then I know that someone saw him Saturday, one of the drivers.
Crews eventually managed to get the woman who made the discovery on the phone. Portions of these calls are redacted.
I couldn't find the person, so I was walking around the house and then I found the gym area.
I'm sending the paramedics to help you now. Just stay on the line. I'll tell you exactly what to do next, okay?
The medical examiner would soon arrive. Police announcing foul play is not suspected in this case. Davis played 10 NFL seasons with several teams, including the Dolphins, before abruptly retiring in 2018 in the middle of a game with the Buffalo Bills.
He communicated to us that he was done.
I found out going in the second half of the game. Coming out, they said he's not coming out, he retired.
Davis said in a statement then he meant no disrespect, but wanted to walk away, quote, healthy instead of limping away too late. He set his sights on business ventures, even writing this children's book. This is his last post on Instagram just last week. All right, again, no foul play suspected. It's unclear who's the woman who made that initial deadly discovery in the home. We are still waiting for the autopsy results, which will reveal much more about this investigation.
When you call 911, just curious, when you call 911, how do people have access to the 911 calls? That's what I'm trying to understand. When you call 911 and you like, hey, I want to report this or that or whatever it is that you want to report, how like, is that legal? Why is it legal for people to be able to get a hold of the 911 calls? I don't understand that. Like, I guess anybody can get a hold of anything at this point, but I don't understand that whole 911 thing and how people can just automatically get a hold of it. On the flip side, it says this is what they're reporting. They're reporting that it was a grisly scene. What is a grisly scene? I know that the 911 calls is always recorded, but it seems like that would be some part of, like, especially when it's like a death or something like that, that it would be a HIPAA. I don't know. I mean, I understand that it's public record and everything like that, but it's weird.
Tay's like OG because I got there in 05 and Tay got drafted 09. Him and Sean Smith because we needed corners, and Tay came in and just a beautiful light, man. When I heard that, yeah, I actually found out on the radio show yesterday because it was released around 1:30, whatever, and I was running around and I got on the show and Hawk and Solana told me what happened. And that was my little brother. And I know Vernon, I know his family, like I know everybody. And man, it's devastating to see that light not be in this world anymore. I call him a light. Like, it's funny. Y'all know his little voice. Like, I don't want to tear up, but just, hey guys. He had just like, he was always excited. He was always positive. He really was like a little brother to me. It's crazy. When I drop my kids off to school, Ari, I'll stop. I'll keep a fishing rod with me. And it was like 6 weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago, I'm fishing on the side of Orange Drive. And somebody said, see. And I look back and it's Vontae. And he U-turns and pulls up. It might be 10 a.m. And we just sit and talk for 2 hours. Just about what he got going on, his business ventures, his new stuff, what I got going on, just his family, his brother, his everybody that I knew when he was playing. And like, if you ever sat down with Tay, it's not 15 minutes. It's 2 hours. Like, you could really sit and talk to Tay forever because he was such a positive light in this world. And when I heard that news yesterday, man, it crushed me. It reminds me, it's just like Junior Seau. Like, when I hear news, I call their phones and it goes to voicemail. And it's kind of when it hits, like, they're never going to pick this phone up again.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it was like that with Junior. And it's so weird, bro. I was with Junior in Nashville probably about 2 months before he passed. The same thing with Tay on the side of Orange Drive before he passed. And it's just like, it's more like, people know them for football, but like, those are my friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about tackles and interceptions. Like, those are my buddies. And I'll never talk to them again. And that's what happened yesterday. When I called Tay and his phone went straight to voicemail, and it's like that conversation on Orange Drive
could break you.
Is the last time I'll ever speak to him.
Yep.
With the Tay situation, I really wanna hear how because it happened so recently. So I really want to hear the reports. I want to see the medical records. I want to see what happened. Because it's that CT stuff's real. I don't know what caused Tay's death, but I really want to know what caused his death. Because after the entire Junior Seau thing came out, it made me really look back and think about that CTE and those head traumas in a different way, because of the fact that Junior wasn't a guy that I would have said would take his own life. Tay's not a guy that I said would take his own life. So I know the story now is that he was just found unresponsive in his home. So I really want to get those facts down to look at it in totality and see what caused this, bro. What caused my friend to be dead right now? Like,
yeah, that's rough. That is really, really rough. I hope it wasn't self-inflicted. Hopefully it was just an accident. I mean, all across the board, it's just bad. It's nothing good that's from this, except for sadness. Whenever there's a sudden passing, when a person is old, you kind of expect it. Like you don't expect when you talk to people, you don't think to yourself like, "Hey, man, this might be the last time that I talk to them." You just talk to them and you go about your day and you keep it moving. And regardless of whether it was self-inflicted or it was an accident or whatever happened, you just never think when you're dealing with people that this is the last time that you talk to them. And so I live every day like it's my last personally. And I always like to acknowledge people when I kick it with them or when I talk to them, or I want to say that I appreciate them, or even to you guys, I say, "Hey, man, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all." Because, man, listen, bro, tomorrow is never guaranteed for none of us. I know we always talking about, "Oh, Jesus coming back." Listen, your day may be tomorrow. My day may be tomorrow. My day may be 60 years from now. No day is guaranteed. You got to live every day like it's your last. You got to forgive people. You got to let it go. You got to move on. You don't want to leave nothing on the table. And I've seen within these last 5 years for me, 5, 6, 7 years, I've seen all too often too many people passing suddenly. Too many people passing suddenly. Some close to you as far as your family members. Some of them is extended and you would call them family. Some of them is really close friends. And so you're right, M. Mills. Nobody knows the day or the hour. You don't know how much time is on your clock, so you got to leave it all on the flow. So prayers up for Vontae Davis's family. And hopefully he got right with God. That's another thing, man. And I hate to bring God into this because we are talking about the Millionaire Morning Show or whatever. But lately it almost seems like it's just a lot of people that's been saying like, "Oh, I don't believe," or "I'm atheist." I mean, I've seen people go as far as to even say F God. Like, they don't just say, "Oh, I'm not a believer," or, I walked away. They will go as far as to disrespect God or disrespect Jesus and compare it to something different. And I'm like, what is going on in this world?